What's going on, guys? This is Spurgeon Piper, and I'm joining you on a Monday morning, getting my day started, and had some downtime to get in a quick video. I've been talking about doing a Q&A video, just to add something different. Eventually, I feel like I'm going to run out of topics to cover one day, and this adds a little bit of variety in what I give you guys. And so, going forward, if you have questions that you are interested in asking, and they can deal with pipe and tobacco and smoking and all those things that deal with that. They can deal with personal questions, maybe just background of me or what I do, anything like that, theology or whatever, something funny. I really don't care. You can pick one. So that's what this is for. If you in the future you want to send me an email or make a comment, I'll kind of add them to a video. And I'm doing this because some of you guys ask good questions, and I'll respond to you via email or on YouTube comments. But I know others could be benefited by it as well because I get a lot of questions sometimes about the same thing. So I figured this would be a good question to ask or a good video to make from the questions that you send me. And so that is the purpose. So some of these names I will give you as far as the YouTube names. Some I won't just because of them asking or uh, they didn't give me a YouTube uh, username to use. And so bear in mind, I won't give those things out. If you do send me a question and you don't want to be me to use your username, let me know and I won't be happy to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Uh, there's gonna be maybe 4 or 5 I get to on this video of questions. Uh, Matthias, his name is Matt K on YouTube, but he gives his name in the comment, Matthias. He says, "Hello, brother. I have a question. I'm also a pastor. I smoke a pipe. Tobacco enjoyment is viewed very differently in church circles in Germany. The church in which I'm now in is quite liberal. And if that seems odd to you for him to say liberal, I'm guessing he's meaning they allow other things to do, or they allow other viewpoints on things like smoking pipe or alcohol. That's I'm assuming what he means. So, what is your church culture like in this regard? Would it be okay if each of your church members knew you were smoking a pipe? Greetings, Matthias." Matthias, that's a great question, and I've received this question a lot, or other pastors or guys asking, "How do I deal with this? I'm a pastor, or I'm in a church, and I feel like some may not like it." And it's a good point because culturally in the United States, you are right. We are indeed different. We are more conservative, and especially in the South. Of not politically, I'm talking not really though. I guess they kind of intertwine. I'm talking culturally conservative. Our mindset overall of things like smoking or alcohol, they are usually frowned upon. So, how do you handle that as a pastor if you're in a situation like that? Or maybe you're a person who just goes to church and you're like, well, I don't want people to be mad or cause issues. One thing I tell guys who ask me about it is you don't hide it. You'll cause problems. Don't try to keep it a secret thing. Um, that will just come to bite you later on. Uh, but yeah, at the same time, I don't announce it. Like I'm not just walking in on Sunday mornings or Wednesdays or whenever I visit and say, man, I gotta let you know about this pipe tobacco I'm smoking lately. I just don't do that. With anything, I don't do that. My whatever hobby I'm doing, maybe sometimes when it's reading, I'll mention what I'm reading, but usually I'm just not talking about it. And so I think there's a balance where if it's so ostracized that you can't be open, um, it sounds like an unhealthy church. I would honestly say I don't think there's any scriptural defense of condemning pipe smoking. I just don't think they could do it. They would try. I think it would fail. Um, this comes down to Christian liberty. There are things, gray areas, if you will, where we have to have liberty of our conscience, meaning I can't condemn someone for doing smoking or for doing something. Smoking, there's no condemnation of it, unless it becomes an idol or unless it becomes something that is is something we grow addicted to. And this goes with alcohol. So I definitely don't condemn anyone for smoking alcohol. Smoking alcohol, drinking alcohol. Um, I have occasionally myself. I don't do it, and I've talked about this. I don't do it because of money. I just have other things I put my money to. On holidays or occasionally on holidays when I'm down visiting family, some of them do, and I'll drink something with them, but I just really don't touch it. But I also myself don't because I have other guys in my church who are coming out of alcoholism, and so for them it would be wrong for them to drink alcohol. Why? Because it's an addiction for them. It's become an idol. Um, and so if it is something that's not an idol, you just don't like it, and I don't like anyone else who does it, that's a problem for you. And that you are binding liberty where there should be liberty. And so I tell others that. It's when it comes to pipe smoking, I have church members who know I do, and they don't really care. They think it's kind of neat, or they just don't care at all. And I think overall with my church personally, those who do know, and some do know, you can come to my house. I have a pipe tin up, or I have my Aragorn Lord of the Rings pipe. I have it out on a mantle, or it's not on a mantle. It's on my bookshelf, so they'll know that I do it. So I don't hide it. And if someone comes to me with a problem, or like Wilson, I don't think that's right, we'll talk about it. So how does my church view it? Not all of them know because I just don't talk about it. So hopefully that answers. I went longer than I wanted to on that. So I apologize if I kind of drew that out too much. Francisco61 sent me an email. Francisco, he didn't include this to be in a Q&A, but I'm including it because he asked some good questions. So he asked, is University Flake? That's by Peterson. I've talked about University Flake. It's one of my favorites. Is it a good starter blend? Yes, I think so. The only two things I would that draw me back from like instantly yes is with the burley, it cools it, but maybe it has a little bit more of a nicotine level than most beginner blends. I don't think it's strong, even as someone who's weak against nicotine, or I'm I'm always cautious with nicotine. I'm sensitive, I mean. Uh, and with a Virginia, it can get hot since it's mostly just Virginia burley, but I still think it is a decent starter blend. It has a good balance of both. You're getting the sweetness, you're getting the coolness, nuttiness of the burley. Yet it has a slight topping, so if you're kind of newer to those blends, you're getting a little bit more extra sweetness. Uh, and he asked another question on that. So yes, I think it's a good blend for starter or someone starting out. How do you prepare it? So I'm going to broaden this out to flakes. I think I touched on this, but I'll say it again. Flake tobaccos, I pretty much treat all of them the same way. I don't fold in stuff. So if you're not familiar with that, that's really taking the flake tobacco. I wish I had some on hand to show you. You take the flake tobacco and you fold it and you just stuff it in your pipe. Some smoke it that way. I have no luck with that. I always rub mine out or grind them out, and I do it pretty significantly. So I'll take it and I'll rub it out in my palm of my hand or on the table or whatever. And then as it's rubbed out, you could go just that's good enough, but I'll actually take it and like start breaking it apart more. Take clumps of it and break it apart. I'm getting it down to almost ribbon-like. Now, not perfectly ribbon-like, but almost. I really want to get it down to where it really smokes well because usually they're on the wetter side. So that's how I do it. Everyone does it different. You do it the way you want, but that's how I do. I really rub mine out. Someone didn't give their name. What denomination do you belong to? Well, there's two ways to answer this. I am a Baptist pastor. I usually go further than that and say I'm a confessional Baptist, meaning I find my convictions and rootings in early Baptist history and coming out of the Reformation. The confessional particular Baptists are usually called, and they kind of come out of the Puritan movement. If you have any background in church history, and so that is kind of my conviction. I do serve in a Southern Baptist church, which is a denomination we usually say, though it's not. I don't want to get too much in that, but the Southern Baptist Convention is more of a cooperation than a denomination. Baptists hold to autonomy. One church is only in control of that only church, but we cooperate with others. So SBC pastor, Southern Baptist pastor, um, more confessional Baptist, I guess I would say it that way. If that's confusing, guys, you can email me or whatever. I'm trying to keep this kind of brief. Karen Eighth, she or he or she, sorry, I'm not sure which, gave a comment on YouTube. Do I keep a tobacco or pipe journal? And they thought this would be a good video to do eventually. It is a good video to do eventually. I'll make sure to do that. I'll touch on it briefly. I do. It's just a Word document on my computer. I like to keep document of my uh, tobacco reviews, and I don't do it as good as I should, but I do add some pipes that work best. Um, there's one pipe I have that works great with one blend or a couple blends, that those blends don't work as great with other pipes. Just how it's made. I don't really know it all, know how it works all myself, but so I do. I'll have a more detailed video in the future on that. But yes, I do. I think it's wise if you do as well. You don't have to go too deep in it. Just a Word document. I like this tobacco. I like this about it. It works good with this pipe I have. I think you would be a benefit from it. Last question. So I don't want to go too long on this. Um, where did I grow up? I'm in Texas. I grew up in South Texas, a little town of Charlotte that no one else has heard about. When people ask where I'm from, and I say Charlotte, they think North Carolina. Little town of about 1,500 people. As the crow flies, about an hour and a half from the border, the southern border, and it's a very rural farming and now farming slash oil region. So that's where I grew up. I don't live there anymore, but I saw some family that lives there. Guys, that's all I have for today. It went about 12 minutes. Keep the questions coming. If this is too long, too short, let me know as well. I always like to know from you guys because I'm doing this for you guys. You can ask pretty much whatever. I really don't care unless you're being a jerk, but that's about it. So hope y'all have a good week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.